eighth wonder of the world. Pretty bold claim for a site that's relatively unknown. Situated on the captivating island of Pohnpei in Micronesia, this title has been bestowed upon this site for one undeniable reason: the sheer grandeur of the structures it hosts. Witnessing it in person, you'll quickly agree that it's more than deserving of this distinguished moniker. The site that we're referring to hosts the remnants of a once magnificent ancient city, Nan Madol. It sprawls over an expansive 11 square miles and is crafted from an astonishing 250 million tons of mammoth basalt logs, meticulously positioned atop a submerged coral reef. These logs boast impressive dimensions, stretching 18 feet in length, sporting a diameter of 4 feet, and forming towering stacks that reach 40 feet above the ground. Their presence forms a complex labyrinth of colossal stones and intricate waterways that encapsulate the tales of an ancient civilization, swallowed by the relentless tides of time. Despite the magnificence of the structures at this site, Nan Madol remains relatively obscure, a fact attributable to its secluded location. Pohnpei truly resides in a remote corner of the world. To the east of this Micronesian island, one encounters an expanse of over 5,000 miles of uninterrupted open sea before reaching California. Conversely, to the west lies another 2,500 miles of ocean until one reaches Manila in the Philippines. The island itself, while relatively small, appears to be of marginal significance, spanning a mere 13 miles from end to end. It's cloaked in dense jungles and tangled mangrove swamps, featuring a steep mountain that rises prominently in its center. However, concealed amid its rugged terrain lie remnants of megalithic architecture that surpass anything observed elsewhere in the world. The name Nan Madol translates to within the intervals. In recent years, Nan Madol has also been bestowed with another title, the Venice of the Pacific. This classification becomes evident upon close examination of the complex, which comprises intricate networks of canals and waterways. What sets Nan Madol apart is that it was constructed around a series of islets, each of which was artificially created. Within the confines of this complex, you'll find towering walls, some reaching an impressive 58 feet in height and measuring as much as 17 feet in thickness. Columns and edifices, all hewn from stones that range in weight from 5 to an astonishing 50 tons, are ingeniously stacked in a manner reminiscent of log cabin construction. Astonishingly, it's been calculated that the site's construction required the utilization of over 750,000 tons of stone. In fact, some audacious claims put forth by researchers suggest that, in terms of the quantity of stones used and the labor invested, this site rivals the monumental scale of the Great Wall of China and the Pyramids of Egypt. The city's design is a testament to meticulous urban planning, characterized by a grid layout. The islets, interspersed with tidal canals, were purposefully allocated for various functions, including residential areas, spaces for food preparation, canoe construction, and ritual activities. At its zenith, the island was believed to be inhabited by as many as thousands of people. At the core of the city lies the central sector, a hallowed precinct housing tombs, temples, and ceremonial spaces. Within this central sector, the Nanduas, also known as the Royal Mortuary, stands as the most luxurious structure, encircled by 2 sets of walls, reaching a towering height of 8 meters. Its gracefully curved corners enclose an area larger than a football field, and one of its cornerstone stones is estimated to weigh an astounding 50 tons. The construction of these megalith structures is a perplexing feat that defies understanding. It prompts one to ponder, how did the inhabitants manage to transport these colossal stone blocks, with some weighing up to a staggering 50 tons, to this distant location amidst the tumultuous waves and perilous coral reefs? Numerous theories have been proposed to unravel the enigmatic construction of these massive stone structures. In contemporary times, carbon dating investigations conducted on the megaliths at Nan Madol suggest that the commencement of its construction dates back to around 1180 AD. This finding leads to the prevailing conclusion that Nan Madol was established by the Saudjoulah dynasty, the rulers of Pompeii during that era. The Saudjoulah people were initially an external tribal group who migrated to Pompeii and established their dominion over the island. Nan Madol appears to have served as the residence of the privileged ruling class of the Saudjoulah dynasty, functioning as both a political and ceremonial epicenter of power. In their pursuit of control over their subjects, the Saudjoulah dynasty skillfully achieved the unification of the various clans in Pompeii. To assert this authority, the rulers compelled local chieftains to abandon their native villages and relocate to the city, where their actions could be closely monitored and regulated. While the majority of the inlets were designed as residential areas, certain inlets had distinct and specialized functions, such as food preparation, the production of coconut oil, or the construction of canoes. The main island held the sole sources of food and fresh water, necessitating their transportation to Nan Madol by boat. The reign of the Saudjoulah ruler was characterized by absolute authority, which became increasingly oppressive with each passing generation. The entire island, along with its inhabitants, was the property of the Saudjoulah ruler. Land was apportioned to a class of landlords who supervised the commoners responsible for its cultivation. In exchange, commoners were obligated to regularly provide tributes of fruits, fish, and other provisions to the ruler. Over time, these demands became so burdensome that the population endured a perpetual state of hunger and servitude. When the Saudjoulahs were overthrown in the late 1600s, the site was abandoned, ultimately leaving behind the enigmatic ruins that endure to this day. If you believe the mystery of this megalithic site concludes at this point, get ready for an intriguing journey. Further research at the site presents an unexpected twist. Some studies indicate that the earliest human presence at Nan Madol can be traced back to well before 1180 AD, reaching as far back as the 2nd century BC, and perhaps even further back in time. This challenges the traditional narrative, suggesting that the site may encompass a history that extends beyond the reign of the Saudjoulah dynasty. A fundamental question emerges when we adhere to the notion that the Saudjoulah dynasty was responsible for building Nan Madol 1,000 years later. What extraordinary means did they employ to accomplish this remarkable achievement? To begin, it's essential to note that there are no stone quarries in the immediate vicinity of the Nan Madol site. Consequently, the colossal basalt stones comprising Nan Madol must have been transported from afar. The crucial question is, how was this accomplished? The challenging terrain of Pompeii's rugged island made this accomplishment appear nearly impossible. It's assumed that they either quarried the stones from the same island or sourced them from a smaller island nearby. In either case, the challenging task was to transport these stones across the ocean to the site. Initially, some suggested that bamboo rafts might have been used for this purpose. But this theory was swiftly discredited when the sheer weight of the stones employed in Nan Madol was taken into account. It's questionable whether they had the technological capacity to construct rafts capable of transporting 50-ton stones. But the inquiry extends beyond the method of stone transportation, whether it involved rafts or some yet undiscovered approach. The subsequent inquiry concerns how these stones were raised and intricately assembled into architectural elements, walls, and canals by people who lacked access to pulleys, levers, or other modern technological advancements. Even in the present day, lifting a 50-ton stone is an arduous task, necessitating a robust crane and a proficient crew. Further deepening the mystery in this hypothesis is the estimated population of the entire island of Pompeii during its peak. which encompassed individuals of all ages, from children to the elderly, totaling between 20,000 and 30,000 people. This population figure does not align with the labor required to execute a project as monumental as Nan Madol. The barren island struggled to sustain the basic needs of its inhabitants, let alone accommodate a colossal endeavor like the construction of Nan Madol. In fact, it's been estimated that, considering the population of Pohnpei and the count of individuals capable of working on the island, the creation of Nan Madol would have required a span of over 3 centuries to accomplish. This is now how we connect the dots to the legends of giants in Nan Madol. The labor and effort needed to build these structures are so massive that it couldn't be done by ordinary humans. There are those who contend that accomplishing this could have only been feasible with the involvement of colossal beings, perhaps giants. Local legends exist that attribute the creation of these megaliths to giants, said to originate from the mythical lost continent of Mu, or the vanished islands of Lemuria. According to these tales, a small group of foreigners arrived in boats from the western seas, exuding a distinct sense of belief, as if they had at last found a sanctuary or haven, a place to establish as their home. These newcomers were of extraordinary size, frequently depicted as giants, and they were under the leadership of 2 brothers, named Olozipa and Olozapa. These sibling figures possessed extraordinary magical abilities, which they predominantly employed to construct an extensive megalithic burial site, which is the Nan Madol today. Reports of discoveries have surfaced, further substantiating the assertion that giants played a role in the construction of these colossal edifices. Let's focus first with the findings of Victor Berg, the governor when Pohnpei came under German rule. Berg, known for his unpleasant and ruthless nature, had spent a significant part of his adult life in the Pacific Islands. Ignoring the stern advice of the indigenous people, who believed in supernatural protectors of the site, Berg set out on an expedition to investigate Nan Madol in 1907. His explorations yielded remarkable results, as he stumbled upon an extraordinary find: a sealed tomb believed to house the remains of Pohnpei's ancient rulers. However, the contents of the tomb took him by surprise, unveiling skeletal remains of an exceptional and enormous nature, unlike anything previously witnessed. The bones were gigantic, suggesting the possibility of a race of giants standing around 10 feet tall. Berg found himself pondering whether such a phenomenon could indeed be real, and if so, who these colossal ancient rulers might have been. On the night of this discovery, as Berg tried to find sleep, a ferocious storm swept over the island, subjecting the landscape to relentless lightning and torrential rains. From afar, Berg and his companions said they could hear the eerie sound of conch shells echoing against the mountains of Pohnpei. What's even more puzzling is that they claimed to see strange glowing orbs in the sky during the storm. The following day, it appeared that the storm had passed, and Berg was resolute in resuming his work at Nan Madol. Yet, as he approached the site, an abrupt halt seized him, causing him to collapse on the spot, and tragically, he suddenly passed away. The locals swiftly asserted that Berg's destiny had been sealed from the moment he disturbed Nan Madol. In their eyes, his unexpected death, combined with the preceding storm, served as undeniable proof of the unseen guardians safeguarding Nan Madol. Berg's discovery of skeletal remains that appeared to belong to giants raised a compelling question. Could these beings have been the reason behind the builders' ability to manipulate such massive stones? However, this isn't the sole instance of colossal remains being reported at the site. After World War I, Pohnpei came under Japanese control. Much like those who came before them, the Japanese administration initiated an exploration of Nan Madol. Nevertheless, what they reportedly uncovered exceeded anything witnessed previously. They found that the existing ruins of Nan Madol, constructed atop a coral reef, represented just a fraction of the enigma. Nan Madol, it seemed, extended further into the ocean and beneath the waves, constituting an entire submerged city. It was within this submerged realm that the Japanese were believed to have encountered massive platinum coffins on the ocean floor. Remarkably, when they disassembled the coffins to raise them to the surface, they purportedly revealed the skeletal remains of enormous humans, towering at a remarkable height of 10 feet. This lent further support to the assertion that giants might have once dwelled on the island. Regrettably, records of Japan's rule over Pohnpei are sparse and largely elusive, mainly due to the loss of many Japanese documents from the region during the outbreak of World War II. Nevertheless, a handful of surviving sources lent credence to the accuracy of this account. However, the debate over the construction of Nan Madol doesn't end with the giant theories. In fact, some theories even speculate the involvement of extraterrestrial beings. The intrigue deepens as basalt columns are found both above and below the water, accompanied by an enigmatic electromagnetic anomaly observed by researchers. A potent magnetic field courses through each of the 250 million tons of basalt, to the extent that a compass held against these blocks will exhibit erratic behavior as it's moved along their surfaces. Moreover, the site itself is believed to be a unique power spot and an energy vortex, possibly explaining its selection for construction. The local population has also reported numerous sightings of orbs and lights that have been witnessed hovering around Nan Madol. These occurrences invite speculation about whether the Earth's magnetic spectrum plays a role in these phenomena. Supporters of this claim predominantly hold the belief that the electromagnetic properties of basalt rock played a crucial role in enabling the levitation phenomenon. Some ancient astronaut theorists postulate that the heightened electromagnetic energy present at Nan Madol was not only a potent tool employed for moving the massive basalt columns, but may have also been a compelling reason for extraterrestrial involvement in the construction of the site in the first place. Is it conceivable that this site once functioned as a channel for extraterrestrial communication in ancient times? It's possible that there was a unique land attribute, such as magnetic hotspot or vortex, which rendered this area particularly significant for such a purpose. We are accustomed to the term vortex, typically employed in science fiction films to depict a mathematical concept representing a swirling motion. Within these vortices, electromagnetic fields can take shape. It's within the realm of possibility that these vortices might have offered a way to transmit information from one location to another at speeds exceeding that of light. If certain areas on Earth harbored more powerful vortices than others, it could account for why people constructed edifices in these specific locales. These structures could have influenced the local electromagnetic field. This could also provide an explanation for the construction of colossal structures in Nan Madol. While the construction of the megalithic structures remains a mystery, it's clear that our world is replete with wonders that defy easy explanations. The debate over whether giants, extraterrestrial beings, or advanced ancient societies played a role in the construction of Nan Madol will continue to persist over time. What are your thoughts about this? I hope you like our story. Until the next one.